evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, can you hear me?
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah.
There, now you can. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kellie Wilson. I'm the Artistic Program Manager here at WASO. And with thanks to West Farmers Arts, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to Artist Sol Gabetta.
Hello. Very nice to be here.
So, Sol, I understand this is your first trip to Perth?
Exactly. This is my first time. This is my first time here in Australia. Not only in Perth, but I mean, it was a very big surprise for me to be here. I love the weather here, I love the people here, and I had a wonderful time really for my first time.
You mentioned that your mum's a pianist. What led you to play cello in the first place, and what's the classical music scene like in Argentina?
Actually, there's a lot of people in Argentina making classical music. It's just the problem, we are maybe like in Australia, very far away from Europe and well, from North America, of course. I mean, we are really so down that everything's when you want to move. I mean, the distances. For example, I just feel here these 5 hours I had or 4 hours from Melbourne to Perth. This is exactly the kind of distance we have in Argentina, or actually more than that. I think if you go from south to north, and the people just need, of course, to somehow to be interested to make classical music, because it's not easy to find music, to find good teachers. There's a lot of fantastic personalities and persons, and of course there is also some teachers there, but it's quite difficult, because if you want to be a musician, you should really make a lot of effort. My father was traveling with me for 800 kilometers from Córdoba, where I was born. This is in the middle Argentina, and we went actually every week to Buenos Aires, and this is of course crazy to find a father which is really prepared to do that the all night, because my father was working during the week, so he couldn't actually just left the shop for many days. So and I think this is my luck actually to have parents as I have, because I think as a child, if you don't have these chances to have parents which are really prepared to help you in what you really want to do, because this was my idea. I wanted to be a musician. It was not my mother, it was not someone else who chose for me. And after this, exactly like that was when I came to Europe. I decided to go there when I was 10 years old, and I said to my mom, okay, I understand, you want to live with Pap here, so okay, stay with Dad here, and I go myself.
I'll take just one more question, I'm afraid.
How did you happen to have the cello that you have at the moment? Where did you actually get it
So
from?
this is a question about Sol's cello, and where did it come from, and how did you manage to get it?
Well, this instrument, very beautiful instrument from Giovanni Battista Guadagnini. This is from 1759, and this was built in Parma, in Italy. I was very lucky, because I met this instrument for the first time when I was 18 years old. This is actually very young. This is very young because I know that it's like a young person who maybe start to drive, and the parents maybe has a lot of money and they can buy a Ferrari for it. This is very dangerous, because you don't know how to drive, so and it's exactly like this, I felt a little bit like with a Ferrari in front of me, and I was very afraid about this Ferrari, and I learned it, of course, first with a lot of maybe modern instruments, just how to get the sound and the intensity, or in the colors maybe, or in the sentences, what I want to say with the instrument, actually with modern instruments, because you need to build the sound somehow. You need to get to this special sound, and I think an instrument like that has a very long story, a very strong personality already, which maybe many young musicians think, of course it's amazing to have an instrument like this, and life become much more easier, but it's not at all like this. I think it's quite difficult to play an instrument like that. This is not an easy instrument. It's actually very complicated. When, for example, it's too humid or too dry, it doesn't sound anymore, and somehow I need to manage with that, and I cannot be angry or something. And a modern instrument is actually much more sure everything works. but maybe of course it doesn't have this story, this personality, you know. So I had the chance actually to find a sponsor in Zurich, and this was a man who just heard me in a concert and he wanted to help me, but I couldn't believe that. So I was like, okay, but I didn't realize that he would do that, because for me it was too far away from the reality to pay maybe 1-2 million for a cello. So for a long time I couldn't believe that, and one day he bought the cello. And well, that way I can play this cello. This is, of course, it's not my instrument, it's his own instrument, but I can play for the rest of my life. I hope nobody knows, but anyway, I'm very lucky, because many other artists, sometimes if you have an instrument from a foundation or something like that, you need every 5 years, 2 years, it depends, to change, because they need to, of course, to give this instrument to other people also. So I'm just maybe lucky to have one person who really maybe trusts me. This is also the question. I mean, I wasn't in the same situation as today. I had no concerts at this moment, you know. I just started to play a little bit concert, and somehow I really couldn't believe as a person buy an instrument like that, because he just trusts me. I couldn't believe that, and this was for sure something very, very important for the beginning of my career. So just to have, of course, your family, your teachers, and a good person like this who really trusts you, believe in you, and give you a hand like this.
Well, thank you so much for joining me this evening, Sol. We need to let you go and get some rest. You've got a performance again tomorrow night. Thank you so much. It was exquisite.
Thank you.